Performing a rescue can be complicated by obstacles, requiring the technician to add a simple or complex maneuver to the rescue sequence. Knowing the steps for each maneuver thoroughly is critical to prevent foundering mid-descent with a casualty. In this scenario, the rescuer must descend with the casualty, passing a short deviation. The ropes are knotted below the deviation to allow the rescuer to pull himself back into the deviation during the descent. The rescuer places his safety backup device on the casualty's working rope and ascends the casualty's safety rope. The rescuer ascends until level with the deviation anchor point. The rescuer's working safety ropes are grasped below the chest ascender and backup device and placed into a spare carabiner attached to the deviation. The rescuer pulls himself into the deviation anchor point enough to remove the original deviation carabiner and gently lowers out using the trailing ropes below. Continue with the ascent until level or slightly above the casualty. Rope management is often complicated by fixed points or deviation. It is critical to have the ropes oriented correctly during the descent with the casualty. The rescuer is going to perform a pick-off rescue with the casualty in descent mode. The rescuer changes over to descent mode in preparation for transferring the casualty's weight to the rescuer's equipment. Again, early rope management becomes critical to prevent fetching up during the descent. With the transfer accomplished, the rescuer is ready to descend through the deviation. The control rope is run through a carabiner to gain additional friction. The rescuer descends until level with the deviation anchor point. The rescuer attaches a second descender to the casualty's sternal D-ring, in this case the casualty's equipment, and pulls into the deviation anchor point. The backup device is moved to the working line above the original descender. The slack is pulled out of the new descent device, and the rescuer lowers with the casualty until the load is transferred to the new descender. The original descender is removed, and the rescuer has now passed the deviation on the working line. The control rope is run through a carabiner to gain additional friction. The rescuer uses a second backup device to maintain his attachment to the new safety line. The rescuer then removes the original backup device and continues with the descent.